In fact, I was so happy that they conducted my exams and it was not being pushed further. This time before the pandemic war were definitely my good old days, something that I really enjoyed, which I felt so normal. I feel we hesitate now, we really have to hesitate before shaking hands, hugging our parents or grandparents, or eating food from the same plate with our friends. I really miss that. And walking around and driving around with our masks. I think the last 6 months I've been caught by the cops mainly because of my masks, and I've tried to just cover it with my hair or my hand, and it's never worked. I think I've never missed human interaction as much as I have, and it's really taught me a lot. Amongst us, there's one more person who feels and thinks the same way. She is currently, sorry, she's a qualified ACCA, an aspiring chartered accountant who's currently working at PwC. Aside from commerce, she has varied interests. She loves painting, playing the guitar, practicing yoga, and most interesting of all, learning new languages. She's an avid reader too. She's been Mecon's ex VPM secretary, associate VPPR, and VP education. Please help me welcome our president, Toastmaster Ankita.
Thank you, Spurti, for that very warm introduction. A very good evening to everyone present in the meeting room today. I would first like to start off by calling our Secretary Toastmaster Bhavani to read out the minutes of the previous meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankita. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1146, which was held on 24th of February, with the theme Colors of Life and the word of the week, Serendipitous. The business session started at 6:19 p.m. and was chaired by our President Toastmaster Ankita. In the business session, the following points were discussed. The roles for the next meeting are open, and all are requested to contact the Vice President Education Toastmaster Spurti for the same. All the members are requested to take part as contest role takers in the upcoming contests and also attend the JTP, which was held on 26th of January. The members are requested to prepare for the club contest, which will be held on 14th of February. The regular meeting started at 6:22 p.m. The Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Shiv Prasad started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to the President Toastmaster Ankita. The President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Rashmi, who spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers. The timer, Toastmaster Bhavani, our counter, Toastmaster Gaurav, grammarian, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, PP evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka. The prepared speech session had two speakers, Toastmaster Arundas attempting his level 1 project 2 speech, which was evaluated by Toastmaster Vaishnavi, and Toastmaster Sanjana, who attempted her level 2 project 2 speech and was evaluated by Toastmaster Sandeep. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Prakash and had 10 table topic speakers, which were Distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara, Distinguished Toastmaster Udanka, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Toastmaster Gaurav, Toastmaster Shiv Prasad, Toastmaster Ankita, Toastmaster Lalana, Toastmaster Dr. Arundhati Herle, Toastmaster Bhavani, and the guest Sharanya Prasad. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Ujjwal. The winners of the week were the best prepared speech, Toastmaster Sanjana, best evaluator, Toastmaster Sandeep, best table topic speaker, Distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara, the best role taker, TAPG, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, and MTG, Toastmaster Prakash. The President closed the meeting at 8:06 p.m. Thank you, and back to you, President Toastmaster Ankita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavani. Are there any amendments to the minutes of the meeting? Okay, so I consider that as passed, and now I would like to open meeting number 1147. A very warm good evening to one and all present here today. I see a few guests in our meeting room today. Let me start off with Mukesh. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us how you got to know about our club?
Yes, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So actually, my dad told me about it, and he got to know about it through a book. He was reading a book, and the author was talking about Toastmaster and how it helps in increasing, making your communication and leadership skills better. So he's trying to make me try it for some time, and For now, it's going quite well. I have attended the previous session also, and it was quite interesting. So I'll try the next two also, and if I like it, I'll become a member too. Thank you.
That's great, Mukesh. You're undoubtedly in the right place.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to our club, and I hope you enjoy our meeting ahead. Also, I see another Toastmaster with us, Toastmaster Orijit. I hope I pronounced your name right. Could you please introduce yourself?
Oh, hi, I'm Toastmaster Aditya from Hoodie Toastmasters Club. Uh, I came to know about your club through one of the veteran Toastmasters. They said Mekon is in both District 92 and District 121, and I already knew Mr. Bhatt, so I was looking forward to join your club meeting.
That's great. Thank you for coming to our meeting. I hope you enjoy. So, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say good old days? For some of you, it might be your childhood and long walks to the park. For some, it might be their 20s when they had all the energy to pursue everything that they wanted to do. But for some of us, it was and will always be school. It's rightly said that school is never just a building made of brick and mortar. It is made of our first success, our first best friend, our first crush, and so much more. How many of you would agree that the first thing that pops into your mind is school when I say good old days? Just give me a show of hands. Okay, I think a lot of us in the room today. I think school will always be a very, very important part of my life because it made me who I am. Well, for me, although I had my share of good times with friends, the one thing I remember the most was the urge to paint my school's building someday. I remember sitting in the lunch break near the auditorium and just watching the building, the sunlight falling and creating these beautiful shadows. And I think I always wanted to be able to capture that scenery in my eyes and put it down on paper. That's always been a strong urge. Maybe someday I will actually go ahead and paint my school building, the trees around it, making it a perfect landscape. I think the reason why I miss those days is because those days were simple, they were happier, and they were less complicated. The only worry that I probably had was sitting in the classroom of a stern teacher or of an upcoming exam. I still vividly remember how my classroom looked, the corners where we laughed together, those benches where I sat next to my classmates who turned out to be some of my closest friends, the sunlit playground that we eagerly waited to step into during our lunch breaks. These little incidents that took place during class, some of these memories will forever remain etched in my memory like the carvings on a rock. I might not keep in touch with all of my school friends, but each one of them have contributed to making my journey what it was. Annual day rehearsals used to be dramatic. Sports day rehearsals were very tiring. We cribbed and complained about projects and exams, but the fact remains, when I look back, I realize that those were the good old days. Remembering something doesn't always mean that you want it back. It means that you've had your share of good times and that those memories will always remain. I carry with me lessons I learned in school, a few friends I made there, and a lot of memories that I will forever cherish. Let's hope to make our futures better by holding on to all the lessons the past has taught us, and meanwhile, not to forget to enjoy the moments that we currently are in. With that, let me call upon our MC for today. He is currently pursuing engineering at City Engineering College. He is a passionate photographer, and when I asked him for his introduction, he told me that he's aspiring to become a wildlife photographer as soon as possible. He is one of the most inspiring Toastmasters among us today. He is a Triple Crown awardee in Mekon. He served as a past VPPR, VP membership, and the president. He is also the youngest distinguished Toastmaster. No points for guessing. With a huge round of applause, Please put your hands together to welcome the MC for today, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Madam President. Good evening, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I live with my parents, only three of us in a house. But that does not take away from the experience I get as similar as me living in a joint family. Because every alternate weeks, my entire family meets up at one of our restaurants, either my residency or my uncle's residency or my aunt's residency. Some residency we will meet alternative weeks. When we meet, when we meet in this family get together, I always get teased by my uncles saying, "You are not experiencing life. You're not experiencing your teenage." I every time ask them, "Why is it so? Why are you telling like this?" Then they start explaining their teenage days, their experience with their friends, their experience with their family, the experience they had during these days without all this internet, mobile, social media, and mainly meeting friends on the 7-inch screen was not at all there. It was completely physical to face meet, physical gatherings, going out, no, not worrying what to post on social media, not worrying when to post on social media, not to worry why social media. They enjoyed their life. They enjoyed to every bit of their life, no matter it was in the school days, no matter was the evening time after school, no matter it was the summer holidays. They have enjoyed till the last moment. So when they start narrating this, I really feel jealous. Why wasn't I born that back then? Why wasn't born good old days? Why could not I experience that? And later I realized everyone are meant to be to experience some of the other part of life. So we are here, they are there. And I've always listened to AK Prabhakara, DTM AK Prabhakara saying how his young days were, how he used to play cricket in summer days, how he used to learn from others. It was while he is narrating, it will simply make us feel jealous. Yeah, why could I not be there in that era? Our era is completely different. I got my smartphone at the age of 18, and my cousin brother who just turned 8 last week, got his tab at the age of 8. And probably a few years passing, small kids or very small kids will also be having their own tabs or phones. I recently went through a PDF which was there in my phone long back while I was cleaning my phone. A picture that says, during kite season, before in good old days, people are flying kites looking up. But now, people are looking up but not flying kites, but having the selfie stick in the hand and taking selfies. I've seen pictures of parents pulling the kids into house in the summer holidays, and now we, we are forced. We are not even forced to go out because of the pandemic. You either sit at your home, you do whatever you want, or if you are feeling irritated or bored, just go watch laptop or phone. That's it. Done. There is no pushing. There is no pulling of us. And there were many pictures to define good old days. How people were slim enough, TV were flat, huge, how people are huge and TV are slim nowadays, and many to link over. How people connect through landline phones and how people disconnect through phones. If I start saying those examples, it will never end. I seriously feel these good old days because luckily I was not there. My childhood did not go wasting time on social media, did not go wasting on playing mobile games, but I had a little percentage of the golden days fun by actually going out, playing with friends, interacting, going, having small 1 rupee chocolates, what we get. in the roadside, small shops in the roadside, and I enjoyed every bit that time. Some holidays, literally my granddad or my mom used to come looking for me at the evenings, saying it's time up now. You have to come home back. So luckily, I was a part of that era, and it's not only to really feel proud or feel comfortable saying that they enjoyed their life. It did not only made us enjoy the love, but it also gave many lessons of life. When we go talk when we go play outside, it made us fit. It made us understand how the game is played. It made us use our mind while playing. Definitely these games, mobile games, do require using of brains, but not that much how much we used before. It taught us many life lessons. And similarly, there was a person back then in good old time, making not only him learning her life lesson, but making sure the entire world does. It's none other than Mr. Ralph C. Sidney in the 1924 who started this wonderful movement, Toastmasters. Which started as a single club back then, is now across 145 countries, over 16,200 plus clubs having membership strength of 3,64,000 plus. This man really started this movement for us, everyone, to share one or the other aspects of our life, one or the other generation's experience here. And not only to share, but to learn many things, many lessons from this wonderful platform. For the benefits of guests, a typical Toastmaster meeting is divided into three parts. First part, first segment, where speakers are ready with their speeches according to the project guidelines. Second, the table topic, where a table topic master is calls out a person randomly and gives a topic. Third, general evaluation, where the entire meeting is evaluated. To have a smooth functioning of the meeting, I have few role takers, and to know what their role and who they are, let me introduce themselves. Let me call out them and they'll introduce themselves. Starting off with the timer, Toastmaster Gaurav.
A very good evening to all the Toastmasters and to all the guests present today. As a timer for today's meeting, I'll be noting down the time taken by each speaker. So I'll be sharing my uh, background with a green when it comes to 5 minutes for a prepared speech session, a yellow for 6 minutes, and a red for 7 minutes. And when it comes to table topic session, I'll be sharing a green for 1 minute, a yellow for 1.5 minutes, and a green for 2 minutes. I'll give my report during the evaluation. Thank you, and back to the general MC of the day.
Thank you, timer. Moving on with the next role, that is our counter Toastmaster Arundhati Herle.
Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Any content can be made very impressive and interesting if it is flawless and has a clear flow. Crutch words and unintended pauses can take away the beauty of any speech. In this direction, as an counter for today, I'm going to note down the pauses, unintended words, filler words, and give my report during general evaluation. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on with the next role, parliamentary procedure evaluated Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. There are certain things in life which we need to follow, such as rules which help us to maintain equality and also maintain the decorum in a meeting. And there are certain rules that we need to follow being in today's Toastmasters meeting. There are three certain rules that I would like to point out here. Firstly, kindly avoid talking about sex, religion, or politics. Second, try to keep yourself muted at all times unless requested to speak. And the third, keep your video on as much as possible throughout the meeting. And in case you wish to leave the meeting, kindly drop in a message in the Zoom chat to let us know that you would be dropping off the meeting. And in case you wish to do so, kindly drop out when there is a transition from one speaker to the other so that there is no disturbance and maintains peace throughout the meeting. I'll be giving my report during the general evaluation when called upon. Thank you, and back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal. Last role for the day, grammarian Toastmaster Munish.
A very good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. It feels wonderful to be back. As a grammarian, I would be making note of the good usage and not so good usage of words by the speakers. I would, I'm sorry, I would request the speakers, sorry. So the word of the week is alluring, meaning powerful and mysteriously attractive or fascinating. The usage, the town offers alluring shops and restaurants. I would request the speakers to kindly inculcate the word of the week in their speech. I would be giving my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. Let's quickly get started with the first session for the day, that is prepared speeches. And today, before I call out the speaker one, I would like to call out evaluator one, Toastmaster Bhavani, to read out the project guidelines.
Thank you, Toastmaster of today, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka. The speaker is the purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The notes for the evaluator is the member completing this project is working to write a speech with the purpose. So the speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. Their goal is to meet their expressed purpose statement with a well executed speech. The member will present a well organized, well delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. All the best to the speaker, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Udan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavani. The speaker one is attempting level 1 project 2A. He is an BCom graduate from SBM Jain Evening College, currently pursuing USCPA along with MCom from Jain University, a passionate quizzer and a table tennis player. He is a straightforward and abstract thinker. Few days back, he decided to walk out of his comfort zone, and that's why he joined Toastmasters. Please put your hands together in welcoming Toastmaster Shiva with his speech titled Doctor Driving. Doctor Driving, Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, MC TTM Udanka. Firstly, am I visible and audible? Yes, thank you. So first, I would like to ask you all to raise your hands if you have ever driven your two-wheeler without wearing a helmet, at least once. Right. How many of you have jumped a signal? Great. See, these questions are always relevant in India, because in India, we have approximately just 1% of the total number of vehicles in the whole world, but 11% of the total number of road accident deaths happen in our country. Every hour, 53 road crashes happen in India. And I can definitely say it's a miracle we are all alive and sitting in this meeting today. So, if you would ask me what is the biggest reason for these figures in India, I would say one culprit is the driver's license issuance test in our country. So let me take you all through my beautiful experience of getting a driver's license in India. It all started when I joined a driving school. As soon as I walked into the driving school, there was this huge board in front of me, around 70 to 80 traffic signs, which had to be memorized for something called the learner's license test, which is just another phony formality. This test is given at a regional transport office in front of a computer where you answer questions about traffic signs and traffic rules. And conveniently, the guy who's supposed to ensure that nobody cheats, he stands right behind you, giving you the answers. Because there are 100 people waiting outside who still need to take the test and you need to finish it. So I obviously got my learner's license, time to learn some real driving. Coming to my driving instructor, who I lovingly like to call as Dr. Driving, sarcastically. Because Dr. Driving was least interested in teaching me driving. Every morning, we would go around the block for about half an hour in a driving school car, This was basically my driving lessons. But Dr. Driving had one interest in life: to make extra money. And how? By investing in stock markets? No. By asking me every day, give me some extra money for my tea and bun expenses. If you do that, I will teach you how to reverse the car uphill and all these other tricks. I did not pay him any money. I said, no big deal. And it was finally time for my driving test, license test. So I want you all to imagine a Maruti 800 car, and there are 4 candidates who are taking the test, who are all stuffed into the car. There is an officer who is taking the test, who sits next to the driver's seat, wearing a police uniform, which had already made me very nervous. So the process was, one guy does whatever the officer asks him to do, drives, and once the officer is satisfied, he leaves. Then the next guy comes in, and so on. So 2 guys finished this, and I was the third in line. He called me up to the front. I came and I got ready to drive. The officer was sitting calmly and he said, "Sir, seat belt ho." And in all this tension, I had forgotten to put on my seat belt. I thought this is over. Then I said, "Oh, sorry," and I put on my seat belt. Officer screamed, "Yen, sorry." Fellow Toastmasters, at this point, my soul had left my body. I did not have anything left in me. I thought this test is over. But then he asked me to start the car. I started it. He asked me to go straight. I went straight. He asked me to take a right on a downward sloping road. I took a right, and he asked me to stop. I stopped the car on a downward sloping road. Then he said, "Take reverse and go left." I immediately got flashbacks of Dr. Driving, who hadn't taught me this. I managed to reverse the car, but if you know driving, you have to turn the wheel in the opposite direction while reversing. I turned it to the left, the car went to the right, and I stopped in the middle of the road. He said he was exhausted and he asked me to leave. I walked away from the car, and at a distance I see Mr. Dr. Driving standing there. Without any hesitation, he asks me for 200 rupees, and I give him 200. I've never paid this guy, and I give him 200. Dear Toastmasters, if this test was somewhere in North America or in Europe, I would have 100% failed. But guess what? I had passed the test. I don't know why, I don't know how I had passed the test. This is the standard of driving tests in our country. To say the least, our skill as driving as Indians is nowhere near alluring. And for this, I think we can blame our collective Indian consciousness, which is, to put it simply, yenagala. And when accident actually happens, it turns into, ah. So, dear Toastmasters, the next time someone slightly brushes past your car, you get a small dent here, you get a small scratch there, don't get angry, don't get too cocky. Because even that other person has got his doctorate in driving from the same incompetent and corrupt agency that gave you your license. So just be happy that you are alive and move on with your life. With that, I hand the charge back to the MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. That was a really exact story how most of us get licensed, but not paying few paid, few get it done without even attending the test, and I'm one of them. Sorry for that. Moving on to the next speaker of the day. Can I request Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Prakash, to read out the project guidelines?
Yeah. Thank you, MC of the day, DTM Budanka. Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, especially Toastmaster Vaishnavi in particular. The speaker is attempting the last project in level 1, that is about researching and presenting. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic approach research methods and present a well organized well-researched speech on any topic. The member completing this project has spent time researching a topic. She may be speaking about a new topic or known topic on a deeper level. The member will present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and the style should work well together. Very important is this project should not be a report on the content of the researching and presenting project. All the best to the speaker and over to the MC of the day, DTM Mudanka.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. The speaker 2 is attempting level 1, project 3. She is a fresh student at KLE Law College. Dancing is where she can find her soul. Running and trucking is where she can feel the actual adrenaline rush. Recently, she turned 18 and she wanted to explore new things, and that's why she's here at Toastmasters meeting. Please put your hands together in welcoming Speaker 2, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, with a speech titled King of Adventure Sports. King of Adventure Sports, Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster DTM Udanka. I hope I'm audible and visible. Yes. So, King of Adventure Sports. Can anyone guess which sport is this?
Skydiving?
No. Any other guesses?
Bungee jumping.
No. Okay. So, King
Crossing
of
Indian
Adventure
road.
Sports is
Is it crossing Indian road?
rock climbing. Yes. Rock climbing is considered as the king of adventure sports. Adventure sports in general is considered very dangerous and risky. You would have found many people telling you that it is a very dangerous sport. Why are you doing this? But let me tell you all, being a climber for about 2 odd years now, I have noticed that it is like any other game in the field, except if you take proper precautions, it would be the most fun sport you can choose to play. Rock climbing or sport climbing in general is divided into 2 categories. One is indoor climbing or sport climbing, and the second type is rock climbing or outdoor climbing. Sport climbing is generally done in climbing gyms on artificial holds, whereas rock climbing is done on natural rocks, as you can see. These are generally the 2 kinds of categories or rock climbing or sport climbing is divided into. But sport climbing in general is considered as an adventure sport for competitions. For the first time, sport climbing was represented in the international platform. For the first time, we saw a category of sport climbing in the adventure sports section in Tokyo Olympics 2020. It was such a proud moment to see my sport up, and for the first time, I watched Sony Live, bought the subscription just to watch my sport. It was a great moment. But unfortunately, we did not have the tricolor participants representing in my sport. But soon, I hope that sport climbing will have a tricolor flag on the podium. I started my journey as a sport climber in a place where you guys would have noticed if you had gone to Kantirwa Stadium. This wall, please, if you have not noticed this, make sure to notice next time you are around Kantirwa Stadium. I started my journey here. Generally, as beginners, if you want to start as a climber, they ask you to start on the top rope. The left side, which you can see, is a top rope. If you ask me what my good old days were, I would say after a tireless 2 hours of training, climbing on this wall and seeing the sunset and staring at UB City. This has been my good old days. Well, coming back to sport climbing. Sport climbing uh, can be divided into three parts again. This is mainly for the competition purpose. There is something known as IFSC. For the climbers to represent their country in international platform, you need to qualify IFSC, which is International Federation of Sport Climbing. Now, coming to these three categories, what are they? Lead climbing, first, bouldering, and speed climbing. This looks like rocket science words, but let me explain them. Firstly, lead climbing. Lead climbing is nothing but you carry the rope along with you and hook it as you go on climbing. Just like you can see in the picture, she has already hooked a rope, and in the next panel she is hooking the next one. So this is how a lead climbing is done. Till the top, the same process is followed. And this has been one of the most challenging climbing form for me. Always during the training, I would run behind the line so that I go last. But as much as scary it sounds, it is very fun and challenging. Coming to the next type of climbing form, which is bouldering. Bouldering is very fun among all the types of climbing. Generally, a beginner goes to a bouldering gym to start his or her climbing journey. If you want to start climbing, then this is the best place to go. And that's the reason why in Bangalore we find a lot of climbing gyms than climbing walls. Though the first type of climbing, lead climbing, mainly focuses on your stamina, but bouldering focuses on your strength. Bouldering is generally like a jigsaw puzzle. You have a certain set of routes. Like you can see, there is something known as zone and top, if you clearly observe the picture. So this is one set of route. You just need to solve this, and that's it. This is a very fun and it's a fun route which you can try out. And the last type of climbing is speed climbing. Speed climbing is generally for the professionals. Even I have not attempted this, even though after so many years of training. It requires a lot of practice. But then, can anyone guess how long, what is the speed record for speed?
A minute?
No. For the men's category, it is 5.28 seconds. And for the women's category, it is 6.84 seconds. Well, these were the types of climbing which are there. And I would like to state that I started my rock climbing, this is the Indian climbing team. Though we have a lot of good climbers, we need a proper representation. And I know soon they will host the flag of the tricolors in the Olympics. And last but not the least, this was the place where I found climbing as my passion. After seeing this picture in Badami, I wanted to pursue my passion. Thank you. Back to MC.
That was one of these great thing I never knew. You asked me to dive from sky or dive deep into the sea with a parachute or an oxygen tank. I am ready, but not this sport is my cup of tea. Moving on, with this we have completed the first session. Moving on to the next session, That's the table topic session. And today, our table topic master is a is has graduated from Auden Public School and currently studying in Transcend PU College. Transcend College, pursuing his BCom. His hobbies include playing cricket, chess, badminton, and he's a passionate dancer, a Western type dancer. And he has also represented his school in district level chess competition. He has joined Toastmasters to make his future path in corporate would easy and to improve his speaking and communication vocabulary skills. Past secretary, past sergeant at arms, please put your hands in welcoming the current associate vice president public relations, Toastmaster Ujjwal.
Thank you, DT Mudanka, for such a wonderful introduction. A very happy evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. One of the most exciting portions of the Toastmasters meeting is the table topic session. The main objective is to challenge the members to develop on their impromptu communication skills to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. Table topic is specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills. They are listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. The time allotted for the table topic session goes like this. At 1 minute, the timer shows the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, the timer shows the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, the timer shows the red card. This time, I have brought up a few different situations for you to build up a story. These are definitely imaginary ones. So let's make this session an interesting and a humorous one. All right. Let's quickly jump into the first topic for the day. Before I tell the topic, let me share my screen. Right. I hope everyone are able to view my screen. Come to the first topic for the day. The first topic. Just a second. The first topic goes like this. To speak on this topic, I would like to call Toastmaster Sanjana. The topic goes like this. You have gone for a scuba diving and suddenly you see 3 sharks behind you. How would you save yourself from there? Toastmaster Sanjana? Sanjana, are you there? Okay, all right. To speak on this topic, let me call Toastmaster Sridevi.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, Sridevi, yeah, you are.
Yes, thank you for the wonderful topic, Toastmaster Ujjwal. And it's first of all very lovely to be back in Toastmasters after such a long time. And coming to the topic, I don't think I would actually be able to survive something like this. But let me try. What would I do? I think I would pretend to be dead and just float around for a bit so that it leaves me, and then I can continue swimming to the top. I think this is one of my nightmares, in fact, like drowning into the ocean and being stuck there is something that has bothered me several times. So you just triggered my anxiety by giving me this topic. But yeah, I think hopefully I will be able to save myself and not be a victim to the sharks. So thank you for the topic, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi, for that wonderful response. Now, moving on to the second topic. Let me share my screen. All right. The second topic goes like this. You have gone for a casual walk in the nearby park. What would you do if your neighbor's German Shepherd went insane and chased you? To speak on this topic, I would like to call DTM M. Hubert.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. You face several problems like this in your life. You know, it is, you can't simply plan that what will happen if this happens, what I'll do if that happens. You know, it will be very difficult to say, like what the previous answer Sridevi told. Well, you know, she also was unable to answer because the situation is something which is unintended and unexpected. So in the particular situation, what would you do? But yes, as far as the dog chasing is concerned, probably all of us, particularly all of us Indians, maybe all Bangaloreans, at least in our area I know, which is plenty of street dogs roaming around. So all the time, that is one thought which goes on in my mind, whether it is German Shepherd or whichever dog it is, if it starts attacking more, what we should do. So I talked to one of the dog owners of our area, see what should you do, how the dog behaves, you know, what should do that. So what he told me that once you say that you are afraid of the dog, or if you look at it in a particular manner, it will start attacking you. If you stand still and look at it in its eyes and look at the friendliness, you know, animals, dog is the friendly nature. However, the insane it has gone. Ultimately, of course, if it is a rabid dog and it's uncontrollable on its own, nothing can be done. But yes, but normally in all circumstances, from street dogs and all, when you want to save, you stand there, don't run, and don't do anything which alarms them, and just look into their eyes and they will start wagging their tail. This is one thing which I have practiced myself in many of the street dogs when it happened. But the rabid German Shepherd is concerned, just as Sridevi said, when the situation let it arise, let me deal with it at that point of time, how I'm going to act. And I'm sure somehow I will escape from that tragedy and nothing will happen to me, hopefully. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, DTM Amibert. Even I would also do the same thing, this particular situation. It was a wonderful one. Now moving on to the the third topic for the day. Third topic goes like this. All right. You have gone for a wildlife photography and tried to catch a picture of cheetah, but unfortunately, it was right behind you. What will be your reaction? To speak on this topic, I would like to call Toastmaster Raghunandana. Toastmaster Raghunandana, you there? All right, I don't think so he's there. All right. To speak on this topic, let me call Toastmaster Sanjana. Is she now available?
Hey Ujjwal, I think she has some problem unmuting.
All right, okay. All right. To speak on this topic, let me call DTM Subramaniam.
Yes. Thank you for this interesting topic, Toastmaster Ujjwal. Can I request you to continue flashing this presentation for a few more seconds?
Sure.
So that I can frame some story for this. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. As most of our members know, we have our own photogram amongst us, that is DTM Udanka. So I had troubled him a lot previously to learn something about wildlife photography. since he himself is a wildlife photographer, and he's a with a lot of troubling, he finally relented and gave me some of his learnings. So after buying a very fancy DSLR photo with a tripod stand and photo with lots of attachments, the camera with lots of attachments, I ventured out to Bandipur forest one day, and I had planned to wander much deeper into the forest to take photographs of some of the very rich flora and fauna, and also if I'm fortunate enough to catch glimpses of some of the wild animals. Suddenly, I saw some wet feeling at the back of my ankle, and then when I turn back and see, what do I see? It's a very big, huge cheetah which is licking my ankle, and I was standing there without any sound coming out of my mouth. I was simply observing what he is going to do, and it was uh, uh, it was sniffing me as if whether I'm a friend or foe to him. Then after 5 minutes, it started licking me. Then it looked deeper into my eyes. Then somehow it started moving its mouth, saying. It wanted to say something. Later, looking into its own eyes, I felt that it was saying something, and it was I understood something as if in the previous incarnation it was my pet dog, and it wanted me to remember its face. So this is how I again had a great reunion with my pet dog, which I had lost. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Subramanian. It was really a humorous one. Thank you for that wonderful response. Now, moving on to the next topic for the day. The next topic goes like this. All right. The next topic goes like this. You are just chilling around in the terrace and you can see a pitch black cobra. Would you run away and just shout at it, or would you just be brave enough to throw it away, or would you call up a snake charmer? To speak on this topic, let me call Toastmaster Vijay Upendra.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome guests. You are just chilling around in a terrace and you can see a pitch black cobra. Would you run away and just shout at it? Or would you just be brave enough to throw it away? Or would you call up a snake charmer? Well, snakes are known to be very sensitive. So we need to be much more sensitive, neither to react nor to respond. That is the best method to handle snake. From in the year 1993-94, when we built house in this area, there were a lot of snakes roaming around. So that really gave me a lot of courage to face snakes in real life situations. The moment you see a snake, you should not shout, you should not move, just be a standstill person, not to react. It may react because it has its own fears. The moment we don't react, it will wait for some time and slowly it will move away. So there is no need of calling any snake charmer, nor to shout at it. It is better to keep the calm and composure, be yourself, then things will fall in right places. Thank you, and back to your table topic master of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajapendra. Thank you for that informative response, I would say. Thank you for that. Moving on to the next topic. The next topic goes like this. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you feel the cockroach sitting on your face. You can feel the cockroach sitting on your face. What's your first reaction? To speak on this topic, since I know this member from my PU, he is none other than Toastmaster Gaurav. Toastmaster Gaurav.
Very good evening to all the Toastmasters and to all the guests present today. First of all, I have a phobia on cockroaches and all the insects. If that really happens, the first thing is my soul would have left my body long back. I still remember this one scene which happened when I was driving a two-wheeler. So all of a sudden, this flying cockroach comes and sits on my hand. I could feel something moving around. I just saw that's a cockroach. I just, shook my hand. I ran to my house. I washed my hands some 5 to 10 times. I remember I took this scrubber and washed it till that sensation of something crawling on my hands went away. So that really happens when I'm sleeping, a cockroach falls on my face. The first thing is I'm not sleeping in that room ever again. I'll be shifting my room, or else I'll be making sure that I have some protection around my bed, or else I'll call someone who knows these pesticides, who will be killing these pesticides, spraying that thing all over my house. So first thing, I really hate cockroaches, and I've seen many people who take this as an advantage, try to scare me around. Like almost all of my friends would try to pick a dead cockroach and throw on me to make sure that I run away with all these fears. So looking at that picture only, I'm still shivering. So imagine that picture, that cockroach falling on my face. First thing is, I will never sleeping in that room ever again. Thank you, and back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for that humorous response, and sorry for shivering you by giving this topic. All right. Moving to the next topic. Our next topic goes like this. All right. You have literally scored 0 out of 100 in your final exam. How would you save yourself from your parents? Will you correct it to 100, or will you face them? To speak on this topic, let me call Toastmaster Maunish.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for this topic. I think this is apt to all the students. This situation, I think it depends on which exam it is. There are different scenarios. 0 out of 100. Okay, so probably they would never know, first thing. That's one of the options. Or say if it's an important exam, you probably go to the teacher and some blackmail, or probably a little emotional, and get at least 5 marks to only show to your parents. Or the last thing is you'd put probably a 3 next to the 0, or in the most realistic ways, I think 0 would be and it actually happened to me in PU in I was in PUC, so PUC only the last exam is counted, right? So I got 5, and my friends, 2 of them, one of them got 6, and one more of guy got 3. So there was something to be happy about, and it was that was the time when I realized that you might feel bad when you fail, but you're even more happy when your friend fails with the marks lower to you. So it's actually a nice, and after everything's done, initially it would probably be a bad situation, but then you realize you're not alone. All your friends are with you. So that makes you feel safe. And I'm pretty sure everybody would have gone through this. At least most of them would have gone through this situation. So thank you so much for this topic, and back to you.
Toastmaster Manish for this, I would say, a great idea. I mean, obviously, I will not score 0 out of 100. My father is here. Yeah. I mean, somehow if I get less marks, I will use your idea. Thank you for that. Now, moving to the next topic for the day. My next topic goes like this. Just a second. All right, yeah. You are a gully cricket player and you have broken the window of a very strict neighbor. What's your next step? If you had just that one ball left to play. To speak on this topic, I would like to call our guest, Toastmaster Orejit. I hope I've spelled your name correctly.
Yes. Strangely enough, I have faced all of the situations which our table topic master has placed today. I have found a cockroach on my face. I have found a cheetah right behind me. I have even found sharks while scuba diving. And I have a solution. I have just one solution for everything. That solution I apply it while I face my boss every day, and that is sing my prayers. I'm a very devotional person, a very devout person, not because I believe in God, I believe in my singing, and I believe that will chase the person opposite me away. And I'm not a great singer, though my name is Arijit. That's an oxymoron, unfortunately, but not having a melodious voice also comes in your aid, that when you sing, a cheetah might run away, a cockroach might run away, or even your parents might run away when you show them that you have scored 0 out of 100. And definitely, I also had a similar situation when I hit the ball and it hit the window of my neighbor Sita Raman. And Sita Raman and I were actually, I was amazed by this gentleman. He used to sit right watching our match every day, the cricket matches we used to watch every day. And then he used to scold us, no, you should not play over here, it will hit my window. And one day it hit. But somehow he of course, I compensated him, but then we became best of the friends. So this gentleman, he was very fond of cricket and sports actually. And we developed the best of friendships with him. Like back then in Tamil Nadu, they used to have a program on DD. So where we used to have a sports quiz, and that gentleman used to invite me every night to watch the show together. So prayers or good people are all around us. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Orejit, for that wonderful response. Now, moving on to the next topic for the day. The next topic goes like this. All right, yeah. You have reached the office and I have a meeting in 5 minutes, but you have forgotten to carry the important documents and the presentation. What would you do? To speak on this topic, let me call our guest, DTM Kadir.
Hello, Topics Master. Have you done surveillance on me? how could you have taken a topic that has already occurred to me? This happened just before the pandemic, and I had to give a presentation. It literally happened to me, and everyone was there in the briefing room, okay, waiting for me to come up with my presentation, and they all like my presentation. I used to bring in a lot of creativity. I used to now just exploding presentations. They're all waiting for such presentations, and they happen to see me with nothing in my hand. I was there for the first few minutes. I was thinking, should I run back to home, get the stuff, come back? But I only have 5 minutes. I had one thing with me, that is my charming face. With this, I don't need any presentation or document. I went on straight ahead, stood in front of everyone, and gave my presentations with my open gestures, and my face showed all the expressions needed for the presentation. I never felt like the presentation needed when I was there physically. And thanks to my Toastmastering skills, I was able to make such things possible. And even though if I could do this one more time, I'll do the same without any hesitation. Thank you. Over to the topics master.
Thank you, DTM Kadir, for that wonderful idea. I hope by your idea, most of the members, including me, it would help us. Thank you for that. Moving on to the next topic for the day. The next topic goes like this. I've planned a trip and made sure each and everything was done rightly. Now you're halfway through and just realized you have forgot to lock the main door. To speak on this topic, since Toastmaster Sanjana is back, so let me call Toastmaster Sanjana to take on this topic. Sanjana, are you there? All right, no problem. Let us give this topic to Toastmaster Eisnehel.
Good evening, fellow table topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. You have planned a trip and made sure each and everything was done rightly. Now you're halfway through and just realized you've forgotten to lock the main door. I think this is one of the biggest fears most of us face when we are the last persons to lock the door when we leave home, especially when we go for trips. So I started making this very weird habit to do something strange, which I usually don't do while locking the doors. So I recall that I've actually locked the door after doing this strange thing. But there was this time before I inculcated this habit that I forgot whether I had locked my door or not. And I was almost across beyond Bangalore. And that's when I realized I have the key, but I don't know if I've locked it or not. So I just quickly call up my friend, who is my neighbor. But it was to my bad luck that he hadn't woken up yet. So the next person that I could think of was the security, and I called him. So he just quickly runs up and informs me that the door is locked. But that fear of whether I have personally locked it or not is still evident, and I'm not sure if I've locked the other day or the security is just lied to me telling he locked it himself. This always happens. And recently, my friend who I called to check if my door was locked recently called me to check if his door was locked. And apparently he was scared because he left his iron box on and it was placed down. So he's a very forgetful person and I have his house spare key. So he just called me and he asked me, can you please quickly go check if my iron box is on or not? He wasn't scared if the door was closed or not, but he just wanted to check if the iron box was on or off. I went, I saw the iron table. Luckily, the iron box was on, but I actually went in very soon and I could lift it up before nothing much could happen. So these are the very strange things that happen to us, and somehow we try to get around it. But I would suggest, in case someone's very forgetful about this, you can always try to do some strange thing or sing a song while you're locking the door, so that you can remember that you've actually locked the door, rather than not able to think of any songs when you are driving and remember the door was locked or not. Thank you, and back to the topics, Master.
Thank you, Toastmasters Isnail. I guess most of us would react the same way. It was a pleasant one. Thank you. And all right, that's it from my end. Okay, wait. I have one last topic. So I'll share the topic. Yeah. All right, the topic. Yes, here we go. You are in a science lab and have mixed two unknown chemicals, but you still don't know what would be the reaction. Would you tell your friends the same and run away, or just stay quiet, or be proud that you have found something new? To speak on this topic, is Sanjana back?
No,
If not, then
she has a continuous problem with.
sure. All right, no problem. I think, is Mukesh available?
Yes.
Yeah. This is your topic.
Yes, sorry, just a minute. I'll just read it. Thank you so much for giving this topic. I think I've already explained this in my 10th when I was doing some chemical reaction test. So I didn't know the names of the chemicals, so I just mixed two, and without knowing, I didn't even ask the teacher. She was right there, but I was not. She was busy, so I was not. I didn't go and ask her also. So without asking, I just added two chemicals, and something just splattered on me, and I got a small burn on my hand. Then I realized, ooh! Instead of getting panicked, instead of getting panicked, I started enjoying it. I was so happy that I discovered something new, and it was by myself. So I was like, oh, okay. So in that way, I'll be very proud of what I've done, but it's not a good thing because sometimes it can lead to dangerous consequences. So in my case, I will be very proud of it, but in other cases, I think you should go and tell your teachers before you do something crazy like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guest Mukesh. You have done a marvelous job. Keep up the spirit. All right, talking in sarcastic way. All right, so that's it from my end. I hope you all had a great time and enjoyed the meeting or the session, I would say. With this, I would like to hand over my charge back to the Master of Ceremonies for the day, DTM Mudanka.
Thank you, Ujjwal, for that wonderful session. You really gave a nightmare to each and every person in this meeting. Many topics was a nightmare for me, especially the cheetah behind me while I'm taking a wildlife photography. Yeah, moving on. If it was a good old Toastmaster days, we would now break for 10 minutes and go talk to the members who have come new after a couple of days, say Munish or Sridevi. So, but we have come forward in time, and now let us break for 5 minutes, and let us be. Now the time is 7:32. Let's all be back by 7:37.
Hi, Shri. Finally, nice seeing you here.
Monish as well. Hi,
Yes,
Monish.
Monish,
Hi,
finally.
guys.
Hello,
How are you?
Munish.
Long time.
Hello,
Yes.
Munish.
Hello.
Hello, Minter.
So many so many new faces, all new Toastmasters. I felt
had more impact. And there was one where also you mentioned about a line which said that after the road accident happens, you mentioned that everybody will go so there was a sense of humor with that. And also coming to your title, Mr. Doctor Driving, I would say there was a bit sense of humor there also. And then you ensured that you don't give out the meaning behind that in the initial part of your speech. You took us to know why that title is given. Along with this, you met the project purpose, and your speech had the basic methods of writing a speech: introduction, body, and conclusion. It was well organized and well delivered. Coming to the place where you can improve on, I would say it was a bit monotonous throughout. So if you work a bit on your vocal variety, your speech would have more impact. When you told, there was one sentence when you told, I want you all to imagine that people sitting inside Maruti 800. You could have just paused and told, now you all imagine this scenario. Or take a minute and imagine where Maruti 800 had so many people. That was one thing. And I also noticed that you were weight shifting towards your right as well as the left. So when you have equal body shifting, if you work on that, it would be a great impact on your body language. And when you mention the facts and figures, it would be good if you also mention the resources from where you have taken these. Which talks about its genuinity. Overall, it was a good speech and a great informative speech, I would say, which you delivered to us. All the best for your speeches. Back to your general evaluator. Before that, I received the resources well in advance. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavani, for that nice evaluation. And one thing that you perhaps missed was that there was vocal variety added. And it have been little subtle, and that's what Shiva said. Something like that in Kannada. That's how it is, sir. He brought some humor also, but with that vocal variety was in place. He has that streak in him, and if we appreciate that and recognize that, he will develop on that respect. From that point of view, I'm pointing out that you might have missed it, but your evaluation was to the point and very elegantly done. The quality was there in terms of you pointed out a way forward. It was upbeat and positive, and the speech was remarkably done well, very well mentored, I would say. And the speaker was really excelled himself, and he's a good speaker in the making, an asset to the club in the making. So let's give a round of applause to both the speaker and the evaluator. Now I request the evaluator, Toastmaster Bhavani, to enter the evaluation in the PDF format that you have received from the VPE and send it back to VPE so that she can send it to the speaker, who in turn has to upload into the folder allotted to him in the base camp. And in case the speaker Shiva, if you find it difficult to locate the folder in the base camp, you can contact our VPE or another club officer so that you can upload it in the right place. It stays as a record, and you can see your progress later on, whether you have met, we are able to improve based on the feedback given by the other evaluators as you progress. With that, I would like to move on to the next speaker, the one who spoke on King of Adventure Sport, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Evaluator is Dr. Prakash.
Good evening, all. This is my evaluation for Toastmaster Vaishnavi's speech titled King of Adventure Sports. When I heard the speech title, I guessed this might be about trekking because it was my favorite activity. But later, when Toastmaster Vaishnavi prompted the audience and displayed the sport activity on the screen, I was thrilled because I was able to recall my first basic rock climbing training at Ramnagaram Hills. During the training, I was not able to climb even 20 feet. Now, I would like to provide my feedback on 3 aspects on what she has excelled, on what she should work on and challenge herself. First of all, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, when you prompted the audience to guess the king of adventure sports, you created the keen interest among the audience. Later during the speech, you were able to explain why rock climbing is an adventurous sport and different forms of rock climbing. Your spoken language was clear and easily understood by the audience. While explaining different rock climbing forums, you were able to transit easily and excelled at using the tone, speed, and volume as the tools. Even your hand gestures were able to display the excitement you had as a rock climber. You were able to effectively use the physical gestures as a tool to enhance your speech. By using the visual presentation and prompting with the audience in few instances, you engage the audience with highly compelling and well-constructed content. Compared to the previous speech, you appear to be more comfortable and well prepared. Your efforts indicate that you spent adequate time researching the topic and bringing out the examples from your own experience. Your speech content was excellent and well supported by research. Of course, it is a bit difficult while delivering before the screen, but when you are presenting on the screen and speaking simultaneously, try to maintain your eye contact on the camera to convey your emotion and elicit response from the audience. This is where you should work on. The project guidelines expects you may have disclosed the sources where you have gathered the content. For example, you might have referred a book or Google. So this is where you should challenge yourself. But as I mentioned earlier, by taking various roles every week, you are climbing up the ladder in your Toastmaster journey. Congratulations for completing level 1 successfully and wish you all the best. Over to General Editor DTM AK Prabhakar sir.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash, for rather elaborate evaluation, but everything as far as your pointers were concerned was in place. And whatever you said, I agree with you. And the effort by the young speaker was something that is to be appreciated. And I like the kind of effort behind it, bringing out the passion as a part of her speech, more so with research. And I also agree with the evaluator that she has to give some kind of a statistics to prove where she is right. Maybe she has the right resources, but to make it look authentic, those things have to be followed. I really like that approach that you pointed out. And she seems to be one step ahead as far as the ability to speak is concerned. She does it with certain fluency and almost flawlessly. And she has that special ability to bring about the impact. I have seen not only this speech, but every other thing. Having said that, I would like to come back to the introduction given by Toastmaster DTM Udanka about her. He said that she just recently completed 18 years. Now, my question to the club officers, more so to the VP Education and Gaurav, the VP member, is how was she admitted? When did you complete your 18 years, Madam Toastmaster Vaishnavi?
6 months.
Pardon?
6 months, and it's been 5 months in Toastmasters.
So 6 months. And when you joined, were you 18 plus or under 18?
It was 1 month.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Because the one thing to be noticed, then that means our introduction, DTM introduction is wrong. DTM Udanka's introduction was wrong because he said that recently you completed 18. That means if you had joined earlier to 18, then you are not allowed to join Toastmasters Club. This is our club officer should note, one. Second thing is we are lucky that she had completed, and I didn't want to pass even harsher comment on that. And second thing is, I think you are at graduate level, Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Yeah, I'm doing my UG first year.
Yeah, pardon?
I'm in my first year of law.
Okay, at least that much. We had in our club 2 criteria, that is 18 years is the Toastmaster International rule. And the club criteria is that the person should be, a member should be at the graduate level. Please note that it is a make it a point. All this has come because our DTM Udanka introduced her as somebody who has completed recently 18 years. Otherwise, it would not. Again, the question of introduction being accurate comes into play here. And this is one aspect I need, because my alertness goes beyond the routine stuff. That's why I pointed out. Now that we have gone past that anomaly and we are moving on to the next one. And here again, I give one maybe 20 seconds to fill up the ballot. A revised ballot has been sent. Please, we'll take extra moment. And that moment, is it there? Revised ballot, I don't see.
So it's been sent. Shiva, can you please send it again on the chat box? Thank you.
I don't see it in the last. Is it previous to MU Bhatt's message?
Yes, sir. That's the one.
Okay. Then we'll please fill it up. All right. The next we'll move on to the evaluation session portion is over, and we are now going to the evaluation, a table topic session. It was very well done. One thing you must notice, you have to read a pattern into what he had done, the table topic master. Table topic master, Toastmaster Ujjwal had given situations as topics. And this is where you converting the situation to a speech is little difficult. It is the jump that one has to learn to make. And there was a challenge there. And people really described the scenario and without turning it into a speech, majority. Very few converted into speech with a conclusion, even though opening is more or less was given. So one or two did that, but I want all the audience to notice that situation has to be turned into some sort of a speech, and make a general remark towards the end, bringing in and making it some kind of a speech. So this is one general remark, but as a table topic master, he was able to draw each and every one to speak on the topic, and that is ultimately the goal, and he fulfilled it in a remarkable, I would say marvelous way. And let's give him a thunderous round of applause for that wonderful effort. That's one thing. And then now we move on to the role takers, timer, Toastmaster Gaurav Badri. Gaurav Badri, please.
Good evening once again. So I just like to share my screen once so that yeah. So as you can see, this Ajari Times Toastmaster Spurti has taken 2 minutes 20 seconds. Secretary Toastmaster Bhavani has taken 2 minutes 15 seconds. President Toastmaster Ankita has taken 4 minutes. And Master of Ceremonies DTM Udanka has taken 18 minutes 10 seconds. Coming to the first speaker, he has taken 6 minutes 30 seconds, which was way beyond the time. It is 7 minutes, so it was on time. And the second speaker, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, has taken 8 minutes 5 seconds, which is over the time, which was allotted was 7 minutes. And coming to the first evaluator, Toastmaster Bhavani has taken 3 minutes 20 seconds. It's 20 seconds, little bit above the actual time. Coming to the second evaluator, Toastmaster Prakash has taken 2 minutes 55 seconds. Coming to the table topic session, table topic master Ujjwal has taken 12 minutes 5 seconds. And here are the table topic speakers: Toastmaster Sridevi 1 minute, DTM MU Bhatt 2 minutes 5 seconds, DTM Subramaniam 2 minutes 40 seconds, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra 1 minute 55 seconds, Toastmaster Gaurav 1 minute 30 seconds, Toastmaster Monish 1 minute 40 seconds, Guest Toastmaster Orijik 2 minutes 25 seconds, Guest Toastmaster Kadrivel 1 minute 30 seconds, Toastmaster Sai Snehal 2 minutes 20 seconds, and Guest Mukesh Toastmaster Yes, Mukesh, 1 minute. Total of table topic session is gone for 29 minutes, 25 seconds. Over to general evaluator. Thanks.
Thank you to time manager Gaurav Badri. If you have noticed, time allotted for table topic is 20 minutes. And you have to cover 10 topics. And to that extent, time has been extended or exceeded. So the way to cut the time is to cut down the remarks after the speech by the table topic master. So that saves time. He has exceeded by 9 minutes, and all others which are in red, they are within time because 30-second extra is allowed. To that extent, there is no issue with regard to the time within the table topic or evaluation, I would say. That's a table topic. Then we move on to our counter, Dr. Arundhati, please.
Good evening, General Evaluator and my dear friends. Please give me a couple of seconds. Yeah, this is a self-explanatory chart which reflects the performance of each and every speaker as far as crutch words are concerned. On an average, each and every speaker has used almost 1 to 4 crutch words, which is very reasonable, I feel. At this juncture, I would like to congratulate our President, Toastmaster Ankita, for her alluring speech, which was absolutely flawless. Thank you, and back to you.
Can you stop sharing? Yeah, I would like to point out here the statistics given by Dr. Arundhati was very difficult to comprehend, I would say, because there are a series of things. What I would suggest is that if she had put some color, also telling that what is the crutch word that was repeatedly used by a particular person. That helps that person overcome that crutch word. That is what I want to point out. Otherwise, a special effort has been put in order to bring about the number of times the crutch words have been used as a statistics. It's okay. When it is provided as a document to somebody, then it is helpful. But when it is being told, you have to sum up by saying that A.K. Prabhakara had 4 and. That means his crutch word is and, let us say. You have to make a generalized view of each such crutch words so that that person is able to maybe tomorrow see the video and is it really true? It can validate and overcome that limitation that he has in expressing himself or communicating himself or herself. So that is one remark as far as the statistics is concerned, but you have put a special effort in order to really display the statistics. Let's give her a special round of applause for that. Wonderful. Then we have Parliamentary Procedure Evaluator Sai Snehal Reddy, Toastmaster Sai Snehal Reddy.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Unfortunately, I do not have a presentation like the R counter or the timer, but here goes my report. None of the members spoke about sex, religion, or politics, and any member leaving the meeting in between have left a message in the Zoom chat intimating us that they will be leaving in the meeting for some time or indefinitely for today's meeting. And I would like to appreciate all the members here today on video for continuously staying throughout, not even taking a minute off. And this is something we have achieved after a really long time. Also, I would like to mention that we have had the highest number of participants in a long time, that is 24 today, after a really long time for the online audience. We can give ourselves a huge round of applause for the same. Although I would like to make one mention, there was one unparliamentary word, if I can put it right, that was being used by one of the speaker during his speech. I would request the speaker to kindly avoid using such words in your speech, whether table topics or prepared speeches. That's all. Thank you. And back to the General Evaluator, DTM A.K. Prabhakara.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal Reddy, for rather a comprehensive evaluation. But I would like to say now that he has already used that unparliamentary word, if I want to say, I don't know what was that unless you point it out. Can you just speak on that, tell that word?
So the word was cocky.
Okay, it is a colloquial word and better to be avoided, I would say. It's not a formal language. it is not used in formal language. I can understand that, and that's okay. You have pointed out, and I didn't really. I perhaps missed it. Okay, thank you very much for that. Now come to the master of the ceremonies, Toastmaster Udanka, DTM Udanka. I would say his speech was very, very good. For a change, to me, it elated me that I am able to comprehend his speech. That's important. See, most of the time he hurries through his speeches, one word almost joining the next word, and it is continuous. Today, I found that his words are separated out from each other, and I could follow what he was trying to say. And it was comprehensive. If I could comprehend, it was comprehensive, but somewhere along he had to bring about generalized statement towards the closure. That is the one thing I want to point out. Otherwise, I really improved speaker. And if this is the way he speaks, prepares himself to speak, perhaps things will start falling in his place. Falling in place as far as his progress or journey in Toastmasters is concerned. And for that effort of going more of nostalgia, but he must have spent good time in playing with other kids, and I thought he should have touched upon it. His reaction with the elders and their past was more. But that just a suggestion, but the speech was very well done. Let's give him a thunderous round of applause for his energy and enthusiasm. Then this is time now to go back to the ballot and complete it.
Sir, if I may interrupt, I think the grammarian's report hasn't been given.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much. Okay. Grammarian report, grammarian by Monish.
A very good evening to all again. It's been almost 6 months since I last attended a meeting at Mekon. And I realized that the bar has been raised farther than I had ever imagined. I literally have no grammatical comments on the speakers other than what Sai Snail mentioned, the word cocky. Other than that, all of them were fluent and fantastic. And moreover, I applaud Toastmaster Shiva for elegantly inserting the word of the week in his speech. Back to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, grammarian Monish. And I thank President for pointing out that I was about to miss. He saved the situation. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ankita. And coming back to the President's speech and SAA speech, Sergeant at Arms speech, SAA speech was to the point, precise, and it really gave a kickstart to the meeting the way it should be. And for that, let's give her a special and thunderous round of applause for Toastmaster Spooty Rabu. And the President's speech, I think the kind of benchmarks she sets for others is difficult to follow. And she has even overcome her speed, that was her limitation. She can really go and drive like a Formula 1 car driver with high speed, in fact, upside down. But she has controlled herself to such extent that we can really follow without much of an effort at all. And it was all elegant, flawless, fluent, and alluring, I would say. And if the way she speaks and she keeps up, it's something like holding the flag high as far as the club is concerned. And that is the kind of benchmark she has set. All I can say, ma'am, keep it going. You are taking the club to higher levels. Higher you go, you take also the club with you. Thank you very much, I would say, for that. Let's give her a special round of applause for that. I think I have given all the feedbacks, but one thing I want to make a remark, that is maybe we have to introduce something little different and new. That is, when we start the meeting or somewhere along in the middle of the meeting, we have to tell everybody, please open the feedback ballot tab in Basecamp so that you can give the feedback as soon as a speech is over. Maybe we can allot 10 or 20 seconds for that, the feedback, so that the person who speak get the feedback, all the role takers. So this can be built as a culture. Maybe the executive committee need to find a solution towards this, so that the pathways program, the feedback most important, that is in Toastmasters, is given instantaneously. So instead of we have been requesting that at the end of the meeting to give feedback. Some people may be giving, some people are not, but at least I do my best to give, and also put a message in WhatsApp. Instead of that, right away in the meeting itself, we can incorporate, if possible, you can consider that in your EC meeting. With that, I would like to hand over the control back to the MC of the day, DTM Udanka Runjain. Udanka, 1 minute.
Yes,
I would like to point out to all others that your name is being not correctly pronounced. Some people pronounce it as Udank. I think it's Udanka only. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes,
that
sir.
also I want to point out. With that, I would like to hand over the control back to my master of the ceremonies of the day, Toastmaster DTM Udanka.
Thank you, sir. That was really an eye-opener general evaluation session, especially for me. We have come to the end of the meeting. Before I hand it over, I would like to say, never regret the situation you are. Never regret the time you are. Every time is a good time. Every day is a good day. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you, DTM Udanka, for the wonderful emceeing today and for bringing this meeting together. Like Sai Snehal mentioned, it feels amazing to see a full packed meeting today. We've had like the highest attendance that we've seen in a long time. And most of the members or guests have been on video throughout the meeting. So that's that also calls for brownie points. So I'm so glad that we have had this full packed audience today. Thank you all for coming. And I hope you learned something and enjoyed the meeting. Ekipise, you want to say something? I saw you raise your hand. Prabhakara sir, do you want to say something? I saw you raising your hand.
No.
Okay.
I have said all I have said. I don't think I should be talking anymore.
No, I think I saw you raise your hand, so I just
No, I scratched my head.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Okay, so just like AKP sir mentioned about the Basecamp feedback, I would like to reiterate. Please go ahead and provide feedback on Basecamp. It is very encouraging, helps members, come and take up roles often and show up and also improve on their speaking skills. And also I would request the members who provide feedback to probably drop a WhatsApp message or an SMS saying that they have given feedback on Basecamp, because there's no notification that you get from Basecamp itself. So please go walk that extra mile, give the feedback, and also then tell the member to go check the feedback. It goes a long way motivating members. Also, tomorrow the meeting link will be present on the Mekon group, the recording of this entire meeting. All the speakers who would like to watch the meeting again, probably want to see how you performed, etc., can use that link and watch the video again to see how you performed. With this, I would like to now come to the most awaited moment for most role takers here, that is the awards to be given out. So the best role taker in the TAP G roles goes to Toastmaster Sai Snehal, our immediate past president, for that very comprehensive parliamentary procedure evaluator report. Congratulations, Sai. The best role taker in the MTG series goes to none other than distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara for that very insightful general evaluation report. It was very critical and something that we all needed to realize where we are going, where we are slipping, and to come back on track and make sure we don't repeat those mistakes. So thank you, sir, for acing this role and enlightening us with your thoughts. Thank you. And congratulations also. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Bhavani for that very comprehensive evaluation of the speaker. Congratulations, Toastmaster Bhavani. The best table topic response goes to our distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt, who is present among us today after a very long time. It's great to see you back, sir, and you have come back with a big bang. So congratulations to you too. And our best prepared speech goes to none other than Toastmaster Shiva, who did a brilliant job with his speech that was subtly peppered with humor. Absolutely enjoyed the speech. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shiva. With that, I would like to close meeting number 1147. And before you all leave, I request you all to please stay back for a photograph.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful thing. We just closed on time, 1 minute ahead of time. Still, we started on time, closed on time. Wonderful. We should round of applause to ourselves.
Yes, that's done. Thank you so much.